Sanders told me that Israel's response in Gaza was disproportionate. That was his word, leading to an unnecessary loss of innocent life. Now, you told The Atlantic in 2014 that, quote, Israel did what it had to do to respond to the attacks. What do you make of Senator Sanders' take on it, that it was disproportionate?
Well, he'll have to speak for himself, but...
you don't agree, though?
Well, I agree with what I said, which is when you are being attacked with rockets raining down on your people and your soldiers are under attack, you have to respond. And I think that what I learned when I negotiated the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in 2012 is that Hamas provokes Israel. They often pretend to have people in civilian garb acting as though they are civilians who are Hamas fighters, and it's a very difficult undertaking for Israel to target those who are targeting them. And I think Israel has had to defend itself. It has a right to defend itself. It did not go seeking this. This was promoted by Hamas, and I support Israel's right of self-defense.
I do want to ask you about something you said in it, which is you said your recollection about the Israel-Gaza war was that over 10,000 innocent people were killed. Now, as you know...
Wait a minute. Did you read the whole transcript, Jake?
I did.
Yes.
I read the entire transcript.
And what did I say in it? What I said is, am I right on that? I didn't know what the number was.
You didn't know what the number was. Absolutely, I understand.
And the gentleman there was the fellow who was conducting the meeting, said, let me check it. He Googled it up, and the number was, I think, 2,100. You know, it does amaze me. I have to, if I say to you, you ask me a question, and I say, well, I think it's the number. What do you think? I'm not sure. And you come back and you say it's another number. I say, okay. Why is that a major production?
I get it. But as you know, the number was much lower.
Yes.
I want to ask you about a reaction that Michael Oren had to what you said.
Who is Mr.
Michael Oren, the former ambassador of Israel to the United States, and now he's a politician in Israel.
I see. And he is attacking me for a statement that I did not make.
Well, he's attacking you not only about the number, he's attacking you for your take on what happened by the Israeli...
All right, let's divide this.
Forget the number part of it. Forget the number part of it.
Let's forget the number. I mean, let us, but the number is not forgotten, and it really does distress me. Was Israel's response disproportionate? I think it was. All right, Israel has a 100%, and no one will fight for that principle more strongly than I will, has the right to live in freedom, independently, and in security without having to be subjected to terrorist attacks. But I think that we will not succeed to ever bring peace into that region unless we also treat the Palestinians with dignity and respect. And that is my view. And
it is interesting, you will permit me to say, that the first Jew in American history to win a delegate, much less a primary, is taking this position with Israel that is usually in American politics, and I'm not criticizing you for it, but is usually in this American politics, everyone just supports Israel, whatever Israel wants to do. You're taking a more critical position.
I'm taking a more balanced position.
You, balanced would be another interpretation of it. You didn't travel to AIPAC to give that speech.
Well, that was a schedule. I would have given, I did want to go to AIPAC. It was just a question of having to campaign on the West Coast. But I gave that speech, and I spoke to the fellow who was organizing the meeting for AIPAC, apologized for not being there.
But you take my point. That is it an only Nixon can go to China kind of thing, or?
I don't look at it that way. Look, this is the way I see it, whether you're Jewish or not Jewish. I would hope that every person in this country wants to see the misery of never-ending war and conflict ended in the Middle East. It's a difficult issue, and good people have tried to deal with it for years. All that I'm saying, as somebody who is absolutely pro-Israeli, absolutely 100% supports Israel's right to exist in peace and in security, I think that the only way we succeed is that if the United States plays a role, which is, of course, we are going to support Israel, but you cannot ignore the needs of the Palestinian people. In Gaza right now, poverty, unemployment, their community has been decimated. You can't ignore that fact. And you can't just be only concerned about Israel's needs. You have to be concerned about the needs of all of the people in the region.